on.
Hello there and welcome back to Bullets for Bucks. I hope you're enjoying the channel. My name's Stephen Bresnall and today we're going to be going over the 6.5 Creedmoor ELD-X factory offering and how it performs on large game, all the way from antelope up to elk. So once again, the Hornady ELD-X factory ammunition. Now, I've been using this ammunition out of my 6.5 Creedmoor for about 4 years on large game, all the way from, like I said, antelope up to elk. I've taken tons of antelope with it, several deer, and a couple of elk. So as far as, we'll start with antelope. On antelope, the 6.5 Creedmoor ELD-X factory offering performs amazing. It's a great antelope cartridge, great bullet for hunting antelope. It almost always passes through, completely through the antelope. In fact, let's take a look at some of the footage here.
3, 2, 1.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that footage of me shooting the antelope with this cartridge here. As you can see, you have great terminal performance. Usually the antelope rarely went beyond a couple of yards and almost always had pass-throughs on the shots. In fact, I think I've never had one get lodged in the antelope, which I like because it leaves a great blood trail in the off chance that you actually have to track the animal. Now the bullets, from what I could tell from the exit and entrance, from the entrance and exit, did a great job, and like I said, held together well. Now I've shot several whitetail deer. I don't think I've taken any mule deer with this bullet, but I have taken several whitetail deer, and it's been very similar in performance to the antelope. Great pass-throughs, great accuracy. The bullet did its job great. Didn't have any issues. The bullet left a good enough blood trail, but I would say less of a blood trail than on the antelope. So it seems for some reason that the blood trail started to tail off and not be quite as strong on deer compared to the antelope, and I'm not sure why that is. That could have to do with the distance of the shot itself and things of that nature and how it affects the performance of the bullet. But still a great A+ rating on deer and antelope. On elk. So is the 6.5 Creedmoor in itself a little bit light for elk? Yes, I've taken several elk with the 6.5 Creedmoor, and I have to say it gets the job done. It has terminal, it kills them, it puts them down, but they do tend to run a little bit further than with your Magnum cartridges or Magnum sized bullets. And with the 143 grain ELD-X, more specifically, I've noticed not great blood trails. So I think that's my biggest complaint if you're going to use the 143 grain ELD-X factory offering on elk, is that you might not get the best blood trail, and if the elk hits the timber, that could cause some significant issues for you. Now we'll take a look at the footage of me shooting a bull elk here with this cartridge. All right, I hope you enjoyed that footage of me shooting the elk. Now, I do not recommend that you take a shot on a bull elk or any elk that close to other elk. Probably not my wisest nor best decision, but it's a decision I live with, and it worked out. Now, I was very confident in the accuracy and the precision of myself and the rifle at the time, and felt confident making the shot, but like I said, I don't recommend it. The first shot, the elk was off camera, and I shot it in the chest cavity. No doubt it would have killed the elk, but I did not want it to make it into the woods. I wanted to put it right down right there. I was solo hunting and I was a couple miles in. The second shot, also front chest cavity, shoulder area. Third shot, same thing. The first and third shot, no elk were close to it. And it wasn't a risky shot. That second shot was risky, the one on camera. After the third shot, the elk went, I don't know, probably 40 yards and then piled up. So here's the thing. Even after all 3 shots, I did not have a significant blood trail on that elk. Now, I found it easily because it was in an open field. Had it not been and it had ran in the timber, that could have presented a problem. All 3 bullets were recovered inside the elk on the opposite side of the flesh from which they entered. So none of them passed through. And I think that's why I didn't have a great blood trail, because I didn't have an exit wound. Now, sure, it worked and they were terminal, but they didn't leave a great blood trail. And I found that with ELD-X bullets, sometimes it seems the weakness is a lack of a good blood trail, at least in the 6.5 Creedmoor. Now, all the bullets retained probably, I would say, at least greater than 85% of their mass. They didn't. None of them dejacketed, and I wish I had kept them, but I did not. None of them dejacketed. They all retained their weight. They all held together well and did a great job in that aspect. However, I can't really recommend that ammunition and caliber for elk just based on the fact that there wasn't a good blood trail. Now, I took another cow elk using the same ammunition, and it was at about just under 400 yards. The bull was at, I think, 350 or 325, somewhere in there. So I also shot a cow elk with the same ammunition at about 400 yards, just under 400 yards, and it did drop the cow. However, it didn't leave any blood trail if that cow had ran, and it did not exit both sides either. And it did not exit the opposite side. I shot a cow elk at about 350 yards last year on the last day of season, and I haven't probably told this story on YouTube. And that cow elk made it about a couple hundred yards, jumped a fence onto a ranch, died on the ranch. I watched it die on the ranch, and the ranch owner wouldn't let me recover the cow. Now, there isn't a big margin for error with something like a 6.5 Creedmoor and a 143 grain bullet. And the shot placement wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. And so obviously this could still happen even with a different caliber or a different bullet or cartridge or whatever. But there isn't a lot of insurance when you use a 6.5 Creedmoor on elk. If you mess up, you might not recover that animal. Whereas if it's a 300 PRC, 300 Win Mag, 7 mm, you probably are still going to be able to get a good blood trail and recover that elk. So that's my take on using the Hornady 143 grain ELD-X factory ammunition for elk hunting. If you like this video, go ahead, like and subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to hearing back from you.